This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Let's go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. My name is Becca Dukes, and let's go ahead and open up that waiting room. Let people in as we have a lot of things to cover today, folks. So if you're watching us on a live stream and you would like to join us live, make sure that you email us zoom@dailywithdoc.com so that you can get on our approved list to be part of our live audience. And for those of you who are here live, we just want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're here, whether you're live or streaming, drop in the comments where you are joining us from. And I want to just do a shout out to everybody out on YouTube and Rumble and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. And I know I missed a few, but folks, we're meeting people where they're at. And one part of meeting people where they're at is creating an environment that is a community, a family. And I am just so excited as we're opening up the show today with two special guests who are joining us from Arizona. And these two ladies, the one on the right, Michelle.
The blonde brunette. There you go.
Well, I'm not quite sure if it's your right, my right, their right, whatever. But the beautiful blonde that we have with us here today is Michelle Wallach, COO of Longevity. Sitting right next to her is our Director of Recognition, Annalise Brown. And these two ladies, along with an amazing team, have put together an event that is happening this weekend. And folks, this is just part of what we do here at Longevity as part of a family. And that's get together, learn together, celebrate together. And I am going to let Michelle and Annalise go through and share a little bit about this event and why they do it.
Well, I'm really excited that we're actually starting this event back up. So we were doing this from 2012 to 2019. And we're super excited to go into 2020, so I'm a little bummed. But honestly, this event came to be because we just really wanted to find a way within Longevity that we could bring women together, create a sisterhood, empower each other, and just allow them to go back home and back out into their own communities, really feeling good about themselves and good about the products that they represent and that they want to share. And so as this has evolved over the years, we were really into a great groove. By the time we were going 2020, we were going to Costa Rica. We had this whole island rented for ourselves and everything down there. We just couldn't have been more excited. And so to take a 5-year break And to come back here in 2025, this has just been a little bit of a, what do we want to do? What do we want to see? What are our new goals in helping women and helping them with recognition? Really, it's kind of a huge bucket of things that we have all taken on in relaunching Live the Life. So I want you to all know out there that this is unlike any Live the Life You Want event that we have ever put on, because it's the first time we've Zoomed it. So
Right.
that, and it will probably be the only time that we Zoom it. So I'm going to tell you right now, there will be no Zoom in 6 months for the next event that we do. And that's also a different thing that we're doing for the first time. We've never had two Live the Life You Want back to back. And so there'll be a second one 6 months from now. So you definitely want to hear about the launch of that one.
Yes.
When you are in attendance this particular time, these are the rules of the pass. You have to be in attendance in order to get first rights to a seat at the next one. And so we give all the women who are in attendance and who are on Zoom this particular time the first shot at the tickets, because it is limited space. So I've actually already told a number of people in Canada, the next one will be a cruise in the Caribbean. And so there is a limited number of rooms that we are doing. I'm going to let Annalise share a little bit more about that today. But the reason, if you have not gotten a ticket yet for the Zoom, let me tell you, different than any other event is truly the verticals that we're going to be going over on Friday. We have had thousands of women join Youngevity since April. First with a food line that went out of business. They came to us, they went to another company, to Sunset Gourmet, and now they're kind of all under one house. So we got thousands of women that have joined, and plus we have Sunset Gourmet, that's now a new partner of ours, bringing in even thousands of more women.
Yeah.
And we put our heads together a couple of weeks ago on a conference call as we were getting ready. We both traveled to Canada together. We were getting ready, and Annalise and Sean were like, we've got all these women who want to know all about the different verticals of Youngevity.
They're so excited. So excited for the products.
So why don't you tell them about like what we're doing on Friday?
Friday's going to be amazing. We're going through all of our main verticals. So we're going to be doing a cooking demonstration. There's going to be someone presenting on essential oils. We have a mineral makeup demonstration. We're going to talk all about protein and the importance of protein and different ways that you can get your protein. And we're going to do a fun thing on Y photo. We're going to, just have all kinds of fun stuff. So it's a very just very informative day. You're going to learn just a ton about the product, and you're going to fall in love with products that you didn't know we had, and you're going to re-fall in love with the products.
So each session,
didn't know we have.
That's true. Each session is 45 minutes. So you're going to get a really in-depth, like, this is what this vertical is all about. This is how you use the products. These are how you introduce the products. So it's really solidly good. So 3 sessions in the morning, 3 sessions in the afternoon will really give you an idea of all the different things that we have to offer. It's not a 90 for Life meeting. I will tell you that all right now. My father-in-law, Rebecca, and her team, and all the health coaches out there kind of really have that one wrapped up. So I've had a few people say, are you going to be talking about 90 for Life? 90 for Life is weaved in always.
Yes.
But this is really about everything else that Youngevity has to offer. And then on Saturday, again, something that my event's never been about, our event's never been about. We've never been about product launches.
Right.
That is not our thing. This isn't our, we're not about, oh, let's have a Live the Life so we can come out with a new product.
So we are this time.
This time we
Excited.
Oh my gosh, because
It's gonna be great.
we've shared it with a number of people. We are literally launching a line of products that is only for women. And I think that's the thing that we are most excited about. We have spent months and months and months on this. This is not, oh, we just came up with it, in July and like, hey, can we get this together? This is everything about this event was around the fact that we really wanted to develop and create a line of products that complement the Healthy for Life, of course, but that are only made for women. So, I mean, even the packaging of them, you will not be mistaken. Like, our bottles have even been colored to be pink, or in the pink line of colors, so that a man would not pick it up and go, I wonder if this is for me.
Yeah.
Like, we've really done a great job in putting, and we've made some of the men jealous. I mean, Sean and Steve definitely have talked about it. Like, oh, well, clearly we're gonna have to come out with a men's line now. It wasn't my goal to separate it out, but there are just nutrients that women need, especially as they get beyond the age of 35. So we have a medical doctor coming in to speak about it. Sanjeev Javia, our health coach, is going to be talking about it. So on Saturday, it is all about women's health. It is about weight loss. What woman isn't interested in weight loss? It doesn't matter what your size is, just staying at a healthy weight is a big part of it. And so Steve's actually probably going to come in for a little quick thing about that because that's something he's been working on really hard for the last 10 months. So this is a relaunch of something that Annalise and I were super passionate about. We still keep telling everybody out there, our number one goal is that the women walk away from our event with lifelong friendships. And the thing that I think we've proven with our VIP events is that it works for Zoomers as well. There's a Zooming community going on. We have hosts behind the scenes helping everybody that's on Zoom so that you do not feel like you're all alone at a desk staring at a screen.
And we'll be interacting with you.
We're totally interacting with you.
Days, so that's fun.
If you haven't been on one of the Zooms for the VIP events, we have a massive wall with everyone's pictures up there, with everyone, not pictures, but everyone's cameras are turned on so that we can see you and that you can see us, so that we are all one room together. And I think that's just like, this weekend is super special. We're in high gear because we want to launch another one right after it. And then we're actually already looking at 2027, which I'll tell you all out there. I'm excited. I'm just going to keep saying it over and over. It's Nashville. I'm excited to go to Nashville. So I'm just going to keep saying Nashville, Nashville, Nashville. And we're just going to grow this back up. It is my fault that this sold out so fast because I thought it would be a lot harder to gather all the women together. And instead, it's turned into us like having to open up more Zoom. We couldn't get more seats into the room, but it opened it up for more Zoom. So going forth, we will make sure always that there's room for 500 women plus for all of our events. Rebecca, you're going to be with us, right?
I will be there on Zoom.
Ah, you're going to be here on Zoom. I thought you'd be here in person.
You're going to be in Zoom.
I thought you were going to be here in person, but I am glad that you're going to be with us on Zoom.
In 6 months, yes.
Yes? Okay, good.
Okay.
In 6 months, yes.
You guys want to make sure that you tune in on Saturday and absolutely get connected with Annalise, definitely on Facebook, big time on Facebook. Make sure you're part of our private group page because we don't want just everyone to sign up and come to live the life in March. We want everybody to come for free. And so we, not Sean, not Steve, not Alex, not the rest of the team, we came up with the contest and the way that you can earn your trip for free to come to the next Live the Life. Yeah. So we've made it simple to understand. We've made it super easy to share. And I think we've done a great job. And I can't wait to prove all the men in the company wrong that we can put on a great contest that excites everybody out there in the field and that has a really great reward at the end. Because it's not that you get to come by yourself. If you win the next Live the Life, it includes for a second person to come with you. So it's 2 for 1 with the contest that we're launching at our event. And we just want as many people as possible participating because what we are launching on Saturday is going to absolutely take us going forth in the future. This line's only going to grow for women. We're only going to be looking at more ways that we can help women. So with each Live the Life, we just want to see the expansion continue to go. And I am most excited, and I have to say it, I'm going to say it a million times. We finally have food. Right? So Alter Canada last week, Annalise and I, every single place Annalise sent us, there was a buffet of food as you walked into each room.
With our new food line, we have to sample the product.
Oh my gosh. I've spent 30 years sampling vitamins and shakes and vitamins and shakes. And look at how you can mix all these things. And finally at last, we get food. It's been fun. Yeah. It's been so much fun. So if you got a Zoom box, and I think you did, Becca, you've got samples in there of the new foods that you'll be able to make up. So everybody out there that got a VIP Zoom box, and I think there's like over 150 of you that got the boxes. All the samples that we are sampling are in your box as well for you to make up because we want to make sure that everybody gets a chance. I know we've put out samples in orders. We've launched brand new things in the fall, but that to me is the most exciting part of Longevity. I mean, excited about the women's line. I'm excited about everything that we're doing, but the food's the best part.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is.
I love it.
Truth.
So, I was all set to go to Cabo.
Oh, yeah.
They shut it down. I mean, no. We went to Cabo. We came back. We're packing and getting ready to go to
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. and they shut us down.
Yeah.
I know.
So I am so glad that you're doing the Live the Life You Want events again. Folks, this is just part of the camaraderie. And what did Michelle say? Lasting relationships.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I have absolutely loved about longevity is the lasting relationships that I've been able to build. And in February, it's going to be 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Oh my word. So I just, Michelle, Annalise, I love you both so much. I just wanted you to come on and share with the audience just the excitement of the things that we do, and build the relationships, and just let people know that, we're a family and we want more branches, right?
No,
So folks,
absolutely.
if
We
you
want
want
more
to
women.
connect and be, what was that?
We want more women, and we're going to bring back Annalise. And I know she didn't bring it up, but I mean, even with this particular event, we're bringing back much more recognition. So our goal is we have so many new leaders rising up right now that our goal is to give them all brand new recognition. And so Annalise has been working on that really hard. We're going to launch that recognition at this event, and you're just going to see all the new things that we've got going forth into 2026, and new recognition and new leaders, and just a whole new way of doing things is really what we've been focusing on. For sure.
Nice.
Exciting.
Very
Nice.
exciting.
Fantastic. Well, ladies, I know that you are right at the beginning of this event
Yeah.
and putting all the last pieces together. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be with us for the first part of today's show.
Well,
You
thank
guys
you
are
for
wonderful.
having us.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, folks, if you have been wanting to be part of something larger than yourself, have a community, have a family, we can choose our friends and family. I mean, we can choose our friends, but not always our family. But this way, you can choose family and friends and have them all together as well. So get back with the person that shared this program with you and say, hey, how can I be part of the community as well? As we are a resource for an amazing community of people. And is everything okay, guys? I think there we go. So we're a resource for an amazing community, and we want to make sure that people understand that this community is not a closed community. And if you want more information, how you can be part of something larger than yourself that's making an impact around the world, then absolutely get back with the person that shared this program with you. If there is no one to thank and you like more information, give us a call, 855-949-3377. Again, 855-949-3377. I have a team of certified holistic health coaches on that phone number. So if you have health concerns that you want to get information about how Dr. Wallach would address those concerns, each of the people on my phone team have been trained to answer the questions based on his research. So with all of that said, folks, let's get into today's topic of the day with our guest, Tim Marsh. Tim is an LMP, a CPT. He just is a master of making things in the body that don't want to move. And it may hurt so bad that you just don't want it. I mean, you don't want to, you know what? I want to bring Tim on because, folks, there are so many things that get our bodies bound up. And today we're going to be talking about whiplash, the neck, the shoulders, the pain. And I can't think of a better person to share with us about this topic than somebody that's been helping people get through this pain for so many years. Tim, hello, welcome.
Hello.
Are you the founder of Rooted Somatics?
I started it a long time ago, but I have a business partner, but it grew from what used to be called Golden Dragon Healing. So
All right. And you're integrating therapies
Mhm.
that work with the body's structure.
Yep.
And
the
sometimes that
fast,
structure has been displaced.
yeah, I mainly my world is the fascia, and the fascia is not some chicken skin. It's a live living thing that adjusts to pressure, rotation, tension, trauma, emotions. It's basically our second nervous system. So the brain has its internal nervous system. The fascia is the brain's external nervous system that tells the brain where it is in space in relationship to objects and also emotions and stuff like that.
Mm. Well, I know that you've got the slide presentation to go through. Are you ready for me to start that?
Bring it. Let's do it.
All right, let's bring it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to, I think that's right. All right, can you see that?
I can.
Take it away, Tim.
Okay, well, when you first talk about whiplash, neck and shoulder pain, this show is geared towards all the people in the audience that may have had football injuries, neck injuries, and they've never seemed to get better. And that's because the the conventional method of treating whiplashes and traumas like this is through what's called extension. So they try to get your neck and the vertebrae to go back from a hard extension into more of a release state. Now, if that works for you, then there's no problem. But what about those people that it doesn't work for? That's what these talks are going to be about moving forward is specific. So when you look at the how what happens when the body hits the impact of, let's say, whiplash or football, the brain locks down and we have to figure out how to restore movement by addressing the problem in the first place. So like I said before, you have the head that snaps back really hard, but not many people pay attention to how far the head goes forward in a collision. And the brain gets shoved forward and sloshes around in the skull, and it doesn't want to go back into this forward motion. And a lot of people have problems with therapists going after the occipitals and digging the back of the line of the body. And, they're trying to strengthen the upper trapezius, they're trying to do thoracic extension drills. But really, what it does is it gives a temporary relief, and often the relief fades. And the question is why? Well, because the brain is still protecting against the original force vector. If we don't remove the reason for protection, the nervous system recruits the same guarding pattern again and again and again. And the result is a loop, brief relief, retightening, and adding more compensations, more fascial barriers laid down, and rising frustrations for the patient. So, you have the first slide, Becca?
I have the title page and the
Yeah,
first next slide.
there we go. So, here in this image, you see the fascia as the second nervous system. It's got sensory rich proprioceptors. It links muscles and nerves, posture and pain. But what I want you to pay attention to is if you look at this image, this is a cross section. So you see these little thin white lines. They're meant to separate the muscles from each other. And when those muscles get glued down to each other, there's no sliding anymore. It's just sticky. So in a lot of cases with whiplash, you look at muscles like the SCM, those are the thick neck muscles. When you turn your head, you see these big Roman columns. That's the SCM. Then you have the scalenes in the front, right? But more importantly, you have the part that deals with flexion of the neck. And the industry loves to work on extension. They love to have their clients do chin tucks and tips off the back of a couch or tips off the back of a bed or whatever. And nobody really wants to look at the range of motion that the head goes forward is far worse than when it goes backwards. Because most time we have an automobile that has a headrest. Well, there's no headrest in the front. There's a airbag, but the velocity of the force is going so far forward that the body just doesn't want to ever go forward after it's been in a car accident. So it clamps down and stops to perceive danger. The jaw, the throat, the chest, and the lines that run through the clavicle and the upper arm, meaning the nerves and all that, they get locked up. And then the clamp becomes the cage. So the reason I showed this image is because I want people to stop looking at the body like the anatomical representation you see in books where, it's a two-dimensional. What you're talking about is a very orchestrated opera of different things moving together. But if you take those little white lines, and some people call those symptoms, some people call those deviation barriers, whatever. When those two get glued down, or those three, or whatever, now you don't have four muscles trying to control something. You have one big giant muscle that's not supposed to control it. So what we do is we want to restore flexion. That's what I do. Remember, this talk is not towards the people that have been helped because the extension model works. This is for all those people out there who are stuck, who come to me, who've had car accidents 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and their body just doesn't seem to get better. And it's about understanding the mechanics of the whiplash or the car accident. So restoring safety is about getting flexion first. Once you do that, then the brain, the nervous system, the hormonal system, and the adrenal system, called the HPA axis, will be able to say, oh my God, okay, this is safe again. The same thing happens with concussions. I've worked with fighters. I recently worked with somebody that had 10 concussions. And they were rocked pretty hard. And I was able to get them to walk out of the office and not think they're going to have to throw up. And they've been sick for years. Okay, next slide. So you can see, here's the image of the whiplash. The head gets jutted forward, it slams back. But in that image, this is what I wanted to point out to people. If you look at the third skull, you see how it was going all the way back? Well, a lot of times the headrest doesn't allow that. So what's going to happen is that's going to be included in the fact that the head's not snapping back so much. But as you see in the next one, the head's going way forward. Now, people that don't adjust their headrests, hey, that's their issue. But most whiplashes are not that far severe back.
So Tim, whenever we do get, like I was in a car accident, I was rear-ended, and I have my head rest so that my head is resting on it. Whenever you have whiplash and you go forward, and back, does that hard stop of the headrest cause injury as well?
Yeah, that's why the extension model works. But if you remember, Rebecca, when I worked with you, What area did I work on? One of the first things I did, I opened up the front of your neck.
Yeah.
And I probably did something and like worked on the front of your neck that maybe nobody ever really did before.
Never.
And that's why we were able to restore your cervical curve back to where it should be.
Folks, you don't realize when you've been so far out and then you get that curve where it's supposed to be, it's like everything just, the world just lines up better. It's easier to walk, it's easier to turn, do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, it's
But
almost like
sometimes,
color comes back in your life, you know?
yes, absolutely. And you don't just have, the tunnel vision, you have your peripheral back as well.
Right.
That's just, it's amazing the work that you do. I mean, I had never experienced anything like it myself.
Oh, that's cool. Thank you.
So I just appreciate what you do and being on here and sharing with others that, there are other things that can be done. It's like I was being pushed off to pain management.
Yeah.
The nutrition helped me a ton.
Oh, sure.
And now you're taking me even better, even farther.
Yeah. I mean, the industry has to, again, I said this before in one of the other talks. We have to stop being in silos. We have to start to understand that every one of these silos is going to help. That's the holistic way. But if I'm a therapist and I'm taking people and I'm driving an elbow into their trapezius and there's a big knot and they don't know the anatomy and they think it's a knot, what if that's the first rib that's elevated because they can't breathe? Now what you're doing is jamming down on that rib. Now you're tightening up the brain's capacity to protect, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So with this image, you can see where I have SCM, that stands for sternocleidomastoid mastoid, the scalenes, the pec minor, and the biceps. Now let's just take a look at that for a second. Why did I say biceps? Because if I'm driving and I see a collision coming, am I going to brace
Oh,
with my arms?
absolutely.
Okay, am I going to brace with my triceps and my biceps?
Yes.
Okay. So what you're telling me is that if I take my first three fingers, my thumb, my index finger, and my ring finger, they're attached to the front line of the body. So they're attached to the bicep and the chest. And if I'm gripping that steering wheel, and most people have a grip strength that's off, I'm not gripping it with the last two fingers, which is my back line of my body or the fascial lines of the back. So therefore, all that force is being squeezed into my grip. And a lot of times when I release people's front lines from the SCMs, the scalenes, I have them do a visualization and I have them let go of the steering wheel mentally while I rip out the bicep. And all of a sudden they start to feel better.
It's, folks, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing what happens whenever we're able to let go of things, but we need people like Tim to help us do that with our
Yeah.
structure.
And that's why I'm doing this. If you're a therapist out there and you keep working on people and you keep banging away at their traps and you keep ripping out their occipitals and they just don't seem to get better, slow down, take a step back, analyze it. Maybe this information may help you and go, oh my God, I have this client. Her name's Mary, and oh, I can't wait to try this. That's what this talk is about. Or if you're a PT or you're a chiropractor, let this talk sink in and say, oh my God, this could be the way to help George that I've had for 3 years.
Yeah.
Next slide. All right, so here's a perfect example. You see the pec minor and you see that little part at the top where it attaches. Okay, that's called the coracoid. I mean, that's called the that's called the hold on a second. That's basically called the coracoid process. And what that means is that's where it anchors. And if you look at the back behind that image, that's a scapula behind that pec. That's that bone. That's our wings of our
So
back.
like,
Yeah, right there. And when that gets tugged down, that's going to send that first rib straight up. And if I'm a massage therapist or I have a Theragun or whatever, and and I keep pushing down on that, it's going to affect the whole nervous system. And it just doesn't have to be whiplash. It can be sitting at your computer and having that forward head posture. That pec minor gets tight, you're tight. So essentially, you're sitting at your desk and you're cranking away and you're an expert in your field. That pec minor might be tight. And of course, that allows us to not take a deep breath because we're using muscles in our breathing patterns that aren't correct, right? We should be breathing diaphragmatically, but if I've got a tight trap and a tight chest and all that due to whiplash, I'm not going to breathe right. I'm going to breathe backwards. So then I spend thousands and thousands of dollars working with people and it works, but then when I get out of the place and I go home and I work out, I start tightening stuff back up. So that's what this is really showing. Go ahead.
I just remember whenever you did release that and told me to take a deep breath. I mean, I thought that I could take a deep breath before, but this was just so smooth and effortless rather than, having to really intentionally think about that deep breath. It's crazy. And now I have better understanding of what happened. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Oh, no problem. It's my pleasure. I'm just glad I was able to help you. Okay, next
Me
slide.
too.
Okay, so here's an interesting slant. The clavicles. Rebecca, if you go back one slide just real quick. Awesome. You can see the clavicle. It's the bone that goes straight across. Right by the pec where the pec minor attaches, there's that clavicle that goes right across. Okay, everybody look at that image. Okay, now, Rebecca, bring up the other one. All right. So when we have the clavicle at a certain angle, our body's happy. But when that clavicle starts to raise and starts to V, our neck gets funneled and crushed into that V. So what happens is now my traps, my pecs, my SCMs, my scalenes, all that are all part of the dysfunction. It's not one problem. It's a multiple issue. And then you throw in what I was telling you about the grip strength. Most people don't have a good grip strength. So that means those first three fingers are gripping and gripping and gripping and gripping. And that also feeds into that clavicular tilt and trap funnel. And that's when you see people with their shoulders up by their ears. That's that. And one of my pet peeves is doing shrugs. If you do a shrug or a shoulder shrug, it's great when you do the concentric, really that quick, but we have to focus on going down slow because otherwise, all we're doing is teaching our body how to become bracing.
How to become what? Say that one more time.
How to brace.
Okay, brace. So like we're getting ready for something to happen.
Exactly. And this is an interesting thing that I've studied when I was a personal trainer is I had a lot of clients that had a lot of anxiety and then they were doing a lot of shrugs and I said, "What are you doing?" And then we started going slower on the negative part and they started to feel like calmer. It's because we focus on tightening, but we don't focus on the most important part, which is that slowing down or econcentric, or we call the negative phase of a movement. We just go as fast as we can and then we get ready and go fast as we can. So there's no balance or yin and the yang. That's the whole thing. So when you have whiplash, you have the clavicular tilt, you have the trap funnel, you have everything I've already set up until this time for this talk involved in that. So I want people to realize that whiplash is deep. It's not superficial. And you can't take a Graston tool, you can't take a cup, cupping, you can't take a piece of surgical steel and Graston or try, it's not going to work because it's superficial. You've got to realign. You've got to play Sherlock Holmes and you've got to say, oh, why do I keep stripping these traps? Because when those people come to me, I have to dig out all that scar tissue.
There's a lot.
Exactly. All right, next slide. Okay, so this talk is brief. It's just meant to introduce you. But what I love to say is the scapula is the steering wheel of the arm. Okay, and it's also the stabilizer of the arm. So most people, they go to their jobs, they get tight, the shoulders protract, the shoulders round. So they wind up moving from their hands, their forearms, and their humerus, right? But that's it. There's no movement of the scapula because it's frozen. And if there's no movement of the scapula when it's frozen, now we take the rotator cuffs, right? And we start talking about the three fingers that I talked about and the two others. And each one of those muscles controls those ranges of motion. So if I'm at the computer and I'm working on a mouse, how often you guys use the last two fingers? How often you guys use the two fingers in the front? Uh-huh.
It holds my mouse, but I don't do anything with them really.
Exactly. So what happens is you wind up becoming three-finger dominant, and your arm, your hand, your forearm all turn inward and get locked in internal rotation. Then we're wondering why we're laying down in yoga class and we're supposed to be doing shavasana, corpse pose, and we can't even turn our palm flat on the floor because our thumb is still driving upwards, which means we're caught in an anterior struggle because we can't get back. So therefore, you pronate instead of supinate. And a lot of people who supinate, but they can't really supinate, that's where they start getting elbow issues and elbow epicondylitis and all kinds of stuff. And then you start getting wrist issues because the trauma is coming from the furthest away. You've got your wrist, you got your fingers, but the scapula is supposed to help in the movement and help stabilize it. But most of us are so scapula locked that we think we're working correctly, but we're not.
So with what you were just saying, with the mouse and holding and becoming the three-finger dominant, does an ergonomic mouse have benefits to help improve that or prevent that?
The way I look at it is if I'm holding the mouse with the two last fingers and I'm really moving really fast with the other fingers, that's creating a dysfunction. So, again, it's not about saying it's the problem. It's the fact that we stay hyper focused at the computer. Why don't you get up, walk around, grab a squeeze ball, work on grabbing your back line, just doing something, but we don't. We have the ability to hyperfocus and we just keep cranking tighter and tighter in the anterior compartment. And then we go ahead and we go to the gym and go, oh, yeah, I'm getting good thoracic extension. No, you're not. What you're doing is getting thoracic extension of the extensors of the back, but the scapula aren't moving at all because they're frozen from the whiplash and the trauma, and the traps are holding, and we think we're moving from there, from the rhomboids or the muscles, but we're not. We're actually moving from the dysfunctional movement of the traps. And that's when they say, oh, I'm trap dominant. Well, it's not about taking an elbow or something and driving it down. It's about opening the front so then the back can release. So anybody out there that has shoulder problems, this is what you want to start to look at. If you're doing thoracic extension exercises, and I hope you are, hopefully somebody's dealing with the front part of your body. And I'd be willing to bet if your therapist works on the front part of your body and releases it, I'm pretty sure you're going to feel a lot better with your shoulder pain because you're not grinding your gears.
Mm-hmm. I can attest to that.
Next slide.
For sure.
So when you have the thoracic extension and trap overload, the brain, the anterior lock, the brain forces extension, the trap recruits for the rolls they can't sustain. You feel good short term, but you get worse long term. And I was guilty of that as a therapist because I was taught in school, oh, you got to release these. And then one day I was like, well, what if I look at this from a different way? And that's when I started to realize that everything that I was taught in massage school, in from different Rolfers like Tom Myers, Eric Dalton, and all these other great people I've worked with, you have to think differently from the different other ways of looking at it, because then you can help people. But if I just keep cranking away, I'm going to make it worse. And that's what I think. That's what I think happened to you, Rebecca. Is I think you had some great people that were trying, but they didn't see the bigger picture.
Yeah. And that last bullet point that you have there, feels good short term, worse in the long term. I totally understand that.
And that's why I don't want to be part of the problem. I want to be part of the solution.
Mm-hmm.
And when you work with the 25% that the 75% of all the therapists out there work with, I can't do the same thing. Otherwise, I'm part of the problem. So the 25% is a whole different world.
Yeah.
Next slide. Okay, so now we're starting to get into some real breathing issues. So when you have restricted breath, you have your sympathetic dominance. That's your fight or flight. So now take everything I just told you, whiplash, shoulder, clavicle, all that. Now try to take a deep breath on that. Good luck. You can go to the Dalai Lama himself, and he could sit there and talk to you and give you all kinds of powders and stuff like this. And you go, oh my God, I've reached nirvana. No, you haven't, because you haven't fixed the issue. And the issue is the people can't take a deep breath. So what we try to do when we work with people with whiplash is we reverse engineer the trauma. And that means you've got to open up the overworked scalenes, pec, and trap minor, and you've got to release the rib cage and the diaphragm. So you know what I did with you, Rebecca, when I put you on your side and I did that signature move, you're like, whoa, I feel like I could pass out with all that oxygen. That's what I was doing. I was opening up the rib cage and restoring the natural balance of the thoracic cage that was tripped off from the car accident. Or many people, the trauma that they went through in Vietnam or the wars or 9/11 or anything else. Our bodies holding on to that score. So you see, when I laid out these sessions for everybody, we start small. Now we're going specific and we're starting to go global. And I'm showing you how it all fits together.
Yes, you are.
Next
Thank
slide.
you.
Okay, so one of the things that most people don't know about is when I work with people with whiplash, I try to introduce eye movements. The eyes have different muscles. We have ones that pull the eyes in, pull the eyes out, pull them up, pull them down, swirl them around, all that stuff, right? But more importantly, there's a part in our brain, the nerve called the cranial nerve, that, oh my God, isn't that close to the back of the head? Oh, yeah. So when you start to restore people from whiplash or concussion, I have them face down and I tell them to look their eyes a certain way. What I'm doing is restoring the neurological feed of them hyper focusing on that headlight coming at them. And their body's like, okay, I only know that little spot. I don't know how to look over here in the corner. I don't know how to do that, because the great Paul Chek, people should look him up. He's a fantastic man and therapist. And he did something a long time ago. He wrote this image, and it's like a totem pole. And each one of our cervical vertebrae controls flexion, extension, rotation, and all that stuff. And they just happen to be attached to the different nerves of the eyes that do those motions. So
Hmm.
when I talk to people, I don't know if you understood this, Rebecca, but when you were in the office, did you see me move around the office and have you look this way and that way without realizing it? I was using your eyes to track me to help you open up.
Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, and if anybody's really interested, there's a movement called cogno movement. We use it with our traumatic brain injuries. Look it up. They're amazing. They've helped a lot of us with our traumatic brain injuries and nonverbal hypoxic injuries where they die in the bathtub and they're brought back to life and they're nonverbal. It's helped tremendously.
And tell me about that, the name of that movement again.
It's called cogno movement therapy.
Like COGNO
Cogno movement.
movement.
Yep.
Okay.
Look it up
I want to make sure.
and reach out to them. I work with them. We work with our patients. It's actually joyous to see. And we actually had one of our clients and her parents took her to San Diego for an advanced session with these people, and we were able to get this young girl to be able to bend her knee to start walking. See, the rabbit hole
Wow.
goes as deep as you want it to go, but most people, they don't want to go deeper because they're like, okay, I'm happy at this level. I was never happy at this level.
Well, and that's one thing, Tim, that Dr. Wallach wasn't happy with just treating symptoms. He
Yep.
wanted to get to the root cause, which is what you're doing when it comes to the fascia.
Yep.
It's not, the end result where you feel it. It's like what's actually causing it. You're helping to open that up.
Yeah.
And I think
And
that's just extraordinary.
that's why I'm honored to do this show, because in a way, I'm mirroring what Dr. Wallach did. And I'm showing people a part of fascia that they didn't even exist or knew about.
Right. Next slide.
Yep. Okay, so when you start to integrate the neck, the shoulder, the breath, the brain and the breath, or the breath and the brain, the fascia starts to reset and the nervous system follows that suit. But I find it fascinating. When I was in Boston, I worked with a lot of people who worked with some amazing breathing specialists. And there was a little friction until I got the breathing specialist on the table, opened them up, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can take a." So it's it's showing that you have to have a lot of diverse ways of doing things instead of, oh, okay, well, I just sit here and do this, you know, Wim Hof breathing, because Wim Hof breathing is not going to help this kind of stuff. You've got to open it up to experience that.
Right.
Which, by the way, I think Wim Hof breathing is fantastic. I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying, if all these people out here have tried all these modalities that I mentioned and it doesn't work, take a look at this and see what happens.
Absolutely. So are we ready for the last slide?
Yep.
That is the last slide.
Okay.
I think
So
that is the last slide. So go ahead.
what I wanted to finish with is there's another part of the car accident. When the foot slams on the brake, the quad locks up, the hip flexor locks up, the calf locks up, and then we lose dorsiflexion. Then we wonder why am I all locked up? Well, that's because the whole body got into the accident, not just the one myopic area that everybody's focused in on. But rather than go into that, I'm going to wait until we cover leg issues later on in the next show. But
Awesome.
the last part is the scapula will follow, the shoulder mechanics will make sense again, and the person will feel like themselves. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to realign the body, mind, and soul, the skeletal structure, the fascial system, the nervous system, the hormonal system, and the adrenal system.
Isn't it crazy how they all are connected
Through the fascia.
through the fascia? Yeah, let's not forget that. So fascia, folks, I think when I first heard the word fascia, it's because I was told I had fascia plantar fasciitis,
Yep.
which had to do with my foot.
Yeah, I mean,
So they were only focused on the foot.
Yeah, I mean, plantar fasciitis is really about the bottom of the foot being so tight that every time we take a step, it tugs on it and pulls it apart. And if it does it too much, it creates too much of a pull, and you get these small little micro tears. Then over time, those micro tears start to coagulate, and then they start to form like a little bit of a calcification. And eventually you get a bone spur, and then eventually that bone spur is going to pop right up through it. And now you've got a whole bunch of stuff. But again, think about how plantar fasciitis can be treated the way I just described, how we help neck issues and shoulder issues. What if the shoulder being tipped forward and not being able to stand up straight causes us to overarch our back? That's going to throw our weight into our toes. That's also going to feed into plantar fasciitis.
Learning how to walk again, that's been something else too. Because I always did. I was like, walked more on my toes than I did on my heels.
Yep.
So, well, folks, I hope that you learned something today about fascia, how things are connected, how whiplash affects it. And it's not just the pain in the neck, but how it affects the body as a whole.
Yep.
Do you have any closing comments?
No, I already did. I wanted to leave a little bit more time if anybody would have had any questions.
Well, folks, we do have Actually, we're a little bit over, but if anybody has a question, raise your hand if you're here live in the Zoom. And again, if you have questions that we don't get to, or have a question that's off topic that you would like to get more information about, if you have a problem, a concern, let's stay positive here. You can always email us at questions@dailywithdoc.com. Again, questions@dailywithdoc.com. Teresa is saying very helpful information. Thank you. And I'm not seeing if there's any comments out on any of the platforms. I don't have that screen up today. But we know that you're there. We have people on our team watching those different platforms. And again, if you have comments or questions and we don't see them or don't address them, questions@dailywithdoc.com. But remember, folks, this is a resource for an amazing community. So they're going to be your first point of contact, the person that referred you to this program. If they don't have the answer, they know how to contact me. We get the answer, and then we'll make sure that the answer goes through them. Because as our community is rich with certified holistic health coaches, practitioners of all different modalities, including those in the medical system, quote unquote, medical matrix, that are coming around to the importance of, one, nutrition, but two, how all of these different systems of the body are connected and affect each other. So Tim, thank you so much. I'm not seeing any hands pop up at the moment. We are just a little bit over time, and I appreciate you coming on with us today. As we have the co-hosts coming up on the screen with us, I appreciate not having to do this all on my own, as we have many hands make light work. And today we have with us Albert joining us from South Africa, helping to let people in. We have Marilyn, who is busy doing transcription into the comments or the chat that is here in the live Zoom, which is only available if you are here live with us. So if you're not with us, you're missing out on the information that's being put into the chat to help you take better notes. Thank you so much, Marilyn. And if you are here with us, I hope you had that chat open. Otherwise, you missed out. And we have Phyllis, who is out on the platforms watching for comments and questions. Thank you so much, Phyllis. And she's adding even more information into that chat. We have Sherry, part of our tech crew. She gets on with me an hour early as we get everything set up, make sure things are looking the way they're supposed to, make sure that all the platforms are set up, ready to go. And AJ is part of that too, as sometimes he has things set up before we even get on. So all we have to do is check to make sure that we got sound, everything's lined up, and we can press go live or stream. So thank you so much, AJ, for all you do in getting us on all the different platforms. And Tim, thank you for being our instructor of the day, helping us to get better awareness about what's going on in our body and things that we need to look at and consider to address the body when other things just aren't quite working or getting us where we need to be. Now, Tim, I have a question. Not everybody can come to Pennsylvania and fit into your tight schedule. So as somebody is looking for somebody like you, what are some key terms that they need to look for or ask about?
Well, the first thing you have to ask is how many years experience they have. Okay, because the deeper your experience, the deeper your elbows and your hands have been. But I also don't want to make a mistake. I mean, when I started, I've had people when I just started doing body work. I was never a licensed massage therapist until 17 years into doing it. I was all self-taught. And I had people who took a chance on me. All those people in the RVC, River Valley Health Club, they took a chance on me and I learned and stuff like that. So I you know, you gotta be your own advocate. If that means if you're going to somebody and they haven't helped you in 10 sessions, move on. Get what you deserve. You don't have to sit there and suffer. And if that means you go through like everybody else has done and they go, oh, I've worked with 20 therapists until I found you. Okay, what did you learn during that journey? You know what I mean? It's not all
Mhm.
lost cause, but you know, you have to take responsibility for yourself. And if that means you're allowing that therapist to help you, but you're not doing the things that you need to do, like stretching or foam rolling or making sure that you do your body care, then they're not going to help you. And even I'm not going to help you if you don't do the hard work. But, you know, we've had people reach out and they've asked my advice, but the problem is they've never reached back out and told me what the issue was. They never reached out and told me because I'm not going to reach back out. I reached back out to them, but they never did because you got to give me more information.
Yeah.
You got to put skin
Well,
in the game. Otherwise, I'm not getting involved.
I was just gonna say we have to put skin in the game and we can't just let it go in one ear and not practice what we're taught
Right.
as well. So, Tim, thank you again so much. I look forward to having you on as we go to different parts of the body and how they are affected by the fascia and how what we can do to reset it. Thank you,
Awesome.
thank you, thank you.
Bye,
For those
everybody.
of you who are here live with us, thank you for investing this time and you're worth it. So if you don't think you're at where you really should be, there are things that you can do, both nutritionally, lifestyle, and looking at alternative modalities to help you reach your optimal best. This program is being sponsored by dailywithdoc.com, where you will find past presentations that we have had, articles that give more information about what you can do to be your own authority and be more of your empowered self that you're supposed to be. And we also have a store. That store is for those that are not working for anybody, or if you know your login, you can use our store login. That's not a problem. What else? I'm forgetting something. But I want you to remember, folks, this program is for educational purposes only. Be a sponge. Where we don't take the place of your primary care physician, there's a lot that your body can do all on its own when given the right information. And that's what our program is all about. I'm here on Daily with Doc and Becca. And folks, if you want to get more information about being a certified holistic health coach, you can go to coach.dailywithdoc.com, get some more information. We have a special going on right now, but I'm not going to give you the code. You got to make sure that you call 855-949-3377 and let one of our certified holistic health coaches make sure that you are signing up for the right thing, getting the program that's available for if there's a discount that is active or needed. We've got solutions for you, including a payment plan. So until next time, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us here on Daily with Doc. Don't forget, Fridays, we have Pharmacist Ben. And tomorrow, why are you shaking your head? No. Oh, not this. Oh, we have somebody else this Friday. And I think it's Dr. Joanne Conaway. Yes. So we're looking forward to hearing more from Dr. Joanne Conaway on Friday. And tomorrow's going to be a surprise. So make sure that you are signed up for our email list by going to dailywithdoc.com and sign up for our email list there. So until next time, my name is Becca Dukes. Thanks for joining us. Have a fantastic day and go be a blessing to somebody else. Bye for now. This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do